Hello everyone, it's Connie Hart from Urbana, Illinois, and I am a demonstrator for Stampin' Up. I want to show you this Poppin' By wiper card. It uses the Poppin' By cling set, which is basically popcorn. There's a little popcorn guy, a few little messages. The dies that coordinate are so fun. Pieces of popcorn, little glasses and shoes, a little film strip, and of course the dancing guy. And I call him the dancing guy because every time I've used him, I feel like I've made him like a dancing guy. I don't know why that is. To cut the popcorn, I just used cardstock and I splotched the Daffodil Delight ink on it using a blending brush, and then I cut out my pieces. And I always use both the outer and the inner pieces to cut my popcorn because I feel like it gives it more dimension. And so in your kit, you are going to have the pieces to make this card. And this is my mock-up, so I've updated this a little bit, changed a few little things, but not much. But basically, you pull on the edges and pop it in to say hello. No one's better than you. And I just think that's really fun. And then the message you would write on the back, you could put a white panel or you could use a gel pen or something. But this is the card we're making today. So I'm going to put that off to the side for a moment. Your kit will include a back and a front of the card base. And then you'll have an envelope and just empty out all your little pieces. And you will have a red piece. This is the pop-up wiper, and we'll put that with the card base. These are decorative. This is just a 1x4" piece of real red that has the white core, and I used that embossing folder that has the corrugation in it, and it went on last chance like 2 weeks after I decided to make this card. Of course it did. Anyway, so what I did, of course, is ran all the cardstock through, sanded it so it has like almost like a red and white stripe, and then cut it down. But that'll be part of our decoration. I have a fussy cut spotlight made of the Daffodil Delight. Now you can choose to use the super bright yellow, but I chose the softer side. That was my intention for this card. You have several white pieces. These two right here are for messages. And then this little dancing guy. And then we're gonna make him jiggle. He's a jiggler. So this is an action wobbler that will make him wobble on the front of our card. So that'll be part of our construction of our base. So we'll put that with that. And then we have all these little pieces of popcorn, and yours will vary just a little bit, but basically you should have about 7 or 8 pieces of popcorn to work with when we decorate the card. Let's get the stamping done first. I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way for a moment. And we are going to use our Memento black. And I marked mine. This is alcohol markers because I always forget which ink works with alcohol, which one works the water-based. And we're going to use that Poppin' By to say hello. And you're just going to stamp that onto the white strip, just like that. And then you're going to use the No One's Better Than You for the other piece. These are weird measurements because basically what I did was I cut the pieces down real tight to the message, and so do your own thing if you remake this card, seriously. Now to cut the little popcorn man, I did something kind of radical, but I cut him into 2 pieces because I thought I will never want my popcorn and my bucket to be the same color. I'm always going to want them to be separate. Now, a lot of people will stamp that little popcorn guy into, like, they'll stamp him all in red and stamp him all in yellow, and then take the pieces, cut them apart, piece them together. And I knew I would not use my stamp set as often if I did it that way. So I did some stamp surgery and cut that apart. Now, what you're going to do then is you're going to take your little popcorn guy and you're going to put him into the hole on the slot. And the first thing we're going to be stamping is the popcorn itself. So I'm getting out my Daffodil Delight and I'm going to ink up my popcorn and then press and stamp, right? Now, the bonus of using a stamp positioner, of course, is that you can stamp it twice if you don't get it perfect, but of course, we're gonna get it perfect. Anyway, so there's our little butter, and now we're gonna move the little man to the bottom of the positioner and into the little hole. And this time, we're going to use the real red, and let's see if I have one open and ready. And we're going to ink up this popcorn bucket. And then we will flip it over and stamp him. Now we have both colors on the same one. And I would just store, I cut this with the die. That means any die that you use will just fit right in. And I would just store these with my stamp set. And forevermore, I will always be able to stamp that super easy. Although, I have to admit, it's really easy to stamp the bucket and then just put a block and stamp the popcorn on top of it. It works great. All right, so there's that. Done. Now let's take the front of our card. Now the front of our card is shaped like this. The adhesive is on the left-hand side. I put a couple of tear strips on there, tear and tape strips. Okay, and then we are going to decorate the front of our card. And you can use whatever adhesive you want. I prefer using liquid glue for everything. I'm just a liquid glue user. And so we are going to put the stripes on this left side, just like that. And then we want the spotlight. Again, if you want to make it bold, you can. I'm just going to put the spotlight on the front of the card like this. And then we will use this Action Wobbler. Now the Action Wobbler has two sides. It has one, it's like a little spring. I hope you can see that. One side is more solid than the other. I like to put the solid side to the card, but I don't think it really matters. Okay, what matters is if I can get it loose. I might have to use my scissors to get my adhesive started there. There we go. Sorry, I don't know why that was on so tight. Probably because I've been messing with this one for a while. I love these little Action Wobblers, and if you are looking for more of them, I got these from Amazon, and I got them in like a pack. They're really inexpensive to get a lot of them, so they're great for a class or something. Anyway, I'm just going to put this down towards the bottom of the spotlight, just like that. I only did the adhesive on the back. I haven't done the front yet. I have a couple of little things I want to do. So the first thing is I'm going to take this pop. I want to stamp it using a white craft ink. Any kind of white ink would work fine, but you just want the background to have something in it, you know, decorate it a little bit. And I have gel pens. If you want to use gel pen, you could, like on this card, I added just a few little dots or something at the bottom, you can do that if you want to. For now, I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to take my little guy and add him to my action wobbler. So let me get my adhesive off there. So now it's sticky, and I'm going to put the little guy into the spotlight and press down around that adhesive, and then you can see he's stuck and he can wobble. Now, shoes and glasses are totally up to you. They're definitely a little bit of a fussy thing, but I'm going to include those in your kit so that you can add them if you wish, okay? And then we're ready to assemble the card. Let's assemble the card before we put everything else on. All right, so let's set our front aside and get our base. Now, the front looks like this. It has the adhesive on this flap, and it's folded this way, kind of accordion fold. And then the back is exactly the same piece, but the other direction, you can see. I'm trying to show you. Okay, like this, okay? And you can see where the adhesive is on the flap and it's to the right. Now we are going to add our wiper, our pop-up. And basically I just use like, I don't know, a 2.5 inch square. The main thing is you wanna make sure, whatever size you use, that it'll swoop up and not get hung up in here, because it's just got to fit and wipe and move freely in here. That's all. So it could have been a little bigger, but this is what I did. So basically I'm going to lay this square down, and you can see up in the right hand corner is a little bit of a score line fold, and I want that to fold towards me. And you want just a sliver at the top and a sliver at the side. You do not want to cross over your fold. You really want, and you don't want it necessarily to right butt up to it. And so the only place on this where you're adhering any glue is onto that little bitty triangle. That's it. Just that triangle. And then when you push your flap closed, just hold it there for a moment, and that will adhere that little tiny corner to your card. See how that is? Make sure you don't have any stray glue anywhere else. It's a little weird. I know that's a little weird, but that's what we're doing. And then now we're going to go ahead, and while I'm still holding it, just letting my glue dry for a second, and I'm going ahead and removing that paper off of that tear tape, okay? And I'm going to do one side at a time. I'm not going to do both at the same time because it is a little harder if you have adhesive everywhere, and this stuff is so sticky. So I basically just want these to be nice and straight and lined up so that the edge of our card is nice and straight and lined up like that. So this, I adhered that side. I have not adhered this side. And I'm going to now do this side, okay? So I flipped it over. This is the front. I did one side already. See that? I'm gonna flip it over. And now we're going to take this paper backing off of this adhesive. And if you lined everything up all perfect, then, see, it's really sticky. You should be able to put this on really nice and straight and press. Now what'll happen is this then will pull and wipe up. Now you can write the word pull with a little arrow on there, you know, just so people know what they're supposed to do with that. And let me just trim that little edge off. Okay, so now we're ready to decorate with the popcorn. And so I'm just gonna real quick just add a few things. I'm going to adhere a message across the front. Now I'm gonna adhere the popcorn, and I just want you to know, if you start at the bottom and move towards the top, all of the rough edges overlap, and they could get hung up as they're going in and out of here. So I tend to start at the top and move towards the bottom, and they can stick up just a little bit, no problem. The main thing is you just want your popcorn to overlap, and I like to kind of lay out the pieces a little bit and make the pieces look really good. I'm just, I like them to stick out just a little. And I'm gonna put this more white piece in the background. I have one that's really white. And then before I put the ones at the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and put my message on. And you want these adhered down pretty well, because you don't want any loose edges to hang up when it's going in and out of this like this. You want them pretty well covered. So now I'm going to just put popcorn here at the bottom, and I'm tucking it under, and I'm putting it below the edge of the card, but just over the corner. That's all. No biggie. My main thing is I just mostly want the whole system to work really well. And then I saved one extra piece that I thought would look really good here. All right, look at that. And then as you work with this, just work with your mechanism, make sure it opens and closes well. It's not getting hung up anywhere. Sometimes you may have to use this extra piece of popcorn just to cover an edge or something, but hey, it works great. The last step is to use the gold sequins. And I don't know, I just have I don't care how many you use, but I'll put a few in your container and in your kit, and then you can just add them on, and it doesn't even matter like what size you use. What's really great is the glue does dry nice and clear. I think that's really great. So I'm just going to use 3, but look at that. Isn't that a fun card? And he's really cute with the glasses. So if you decide to use the glasses, I'm trying to decide if I don't think I want to use it. I usually just, what I did to adhere him, the glasses, was I just went straight across with a strip of glue and then stuck it on. It worked great. The feet are a little trickier. You have to put glue onto the little feet and then put the shoes on, which works really well. But there's our card today. I hope you love it. Let me know what you think. Oh, real quick, let me just show you. Here's another Poppin By card that I made a while back, where I basically just took a piece of red card, a rectangle of red, and I just cut it freehand, like diagonal, 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 and then I just adhered it to white and cut it in a popcorn bucket style. And then here's one kind of like the one that we're making, only just a regular card, and I used the wobbler, and I made it sort of black and white, thinking black and white movies, that kind of thing, and I wanted to use the little film strip, which I thought was really cute. And then this card was one that I got in a swap in Peoria, Illinois. This was made by Kim Hargis, and what's really great, I thought it was really clever. She made the glasses like the 3D glasses, and she used the stamps on the popcorn. I thought that was really cute. And she did Poppin in ... to say hello. And so I think she did a little masking or stamp surgery on message to do that. And I like how she did the buttered popcorn in the middle. Anyway, I just wanted to show you some other ideas that you could use. And just let me know what you think. I hope you love it. Have fun.